Good afternoon. This is In Truth and in Spirit World of Worship Fellowship, and this is a segment of the Financial Vibes. I am with our pastor in that reading, Professor Francis Rugorobi Kabinori, and he's our teacher in these issues of finances. And that's it. Francis, I am a Ugandan, and in Uganda we have the culture against the idea of renting. And 90% of the people that are renting in Uganda are culturally, number one, religiously, number two, financially, number three, advised to work as hard as they can to get out of rent. What is encouraged here in Uganda, I don't know about other places, is that a man should own a house and not rent. So renting is deemed as failure financially, and failure in identity as a man, as a woman, and owning is deemed as achievement and ultimate success. So, and owning a house is part of the system of that Jethro keeps teaching me of 2231 or 331. How is it called?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Where one wife, two children, 3-bedroom house, 4-wheel drive car. So in Uganda here, it is that system, and we normally base on the 3-bedroom house. You have to own a house. As far as finances are concerned, what does financial literacy actually advise, and does it agree with us, with the Ugandans?
Financial literacy doesn't agree with Ugandans.
Okay.
Actually, in my mother tongue, we concur with what you've said.
Yes.
We have the saying that that
is Ugandan proverb.
And for someone to be called a man, you must have a house, which you call a home. So if you don't own a house, you're not yet a man in my culture. Yet financial wisdom tells me that I should put off holding a house for as long as possible, or even, if possible, never even to own a house.
Hey. Then what are you working for? Because for us, if you haven't built a house, you have not worked. We even make parties.
Actually, for people who are financially well off, sometimes it's very proper to use certain expensive or high value assets, to use them while renting them instead of owning them.
Okay.
It's cheaper and better to use expensive and high value assets while renting them than while owning them. Why? Because one, such assets consume a lot of money to buy. So in the early stages of your financial growth and development, you are advised not to spend money on lifestyle assets, but to spend money on productive assets, which are going to increase your productivity, which are going to bear profits, which profits are going to build your financial base. So if you at the early stage of your life, for example, after school, you've gotten your first job, instead of buying land and building a home, it makes sense to use the money you've collected, the good money you'd have used to buy a house. If, for example, you're going to buy a plot of 20 million Ghana shillings and build a house of 80 million to make it 100 million, that 100 million is better invested in a venture which is going to generate you money every month, every year, and that money can be used to build a house or to improve your life instead of wasting that money at an early stage. So actually, the stage at which someone should be building a house is when they're financially stable and financially independent, so that they have extra cash, extra resources, and those extra resources, which are produced maybe by passive assets, by passive income assets. Those resources are the ones we should be
Francis,
building a
in
house.
Uganda, financial stability, building a home to sleep in, is one of the contributing factors to financial stability, because paying rent every month is taking our money So we build a home to sleep in so that we can save these monthly bills.
But homes are sometimes the expense of an unowned home can be higher than monthly rent.
Calculations.
Yeah. I'll give you an example.
A three-bedroom house.
A three-bedroom house. A three-bedroom house I stay in Boyogere, division of Tri Municipality. A three-bedroom house goes for 800,000 Ghana shillings to 1 million.
That is rent.
Rent, yeah. Every month. And managing, if I'm renting it, and when I'm renting it, my landlord is going to provide security, is going to provide garbage handling services, is going to provide slashing services, is going to provide gardening and pruning services. At that cost.
And not all landlords. Some the tenants.
I'm looking at that cost.
Okay.
Yeah, that cost because of my landlord.
Okay.
Now, if I'm owning the very house, I'm going to hire an askari, and if that askari is from a security company, I'm going to pay. Actually, if I go there, even it's colossal because most security companies charge 500,000 per askari. A askari 500,000, night askari 5,000. So just for security, security is equal to my rent. Then I have to do garbage handling services, maybe 120,000 per month. I have to do slashing 50,000 per month. I have to do gardening and what. So all those expenses, sometimes you find that if for your own house, you may end up paying more than what you're paying in rent. So owning a house is a luxury for a certain class.
Okay. It is a luxury for
because it includes expenses which which a tenant may not meet.
In your calculation, you just concentrated on the maintenance.
Yeah.
Can you also share a picture of at the level of construction? How much have I invested in construction, and then vis-a-vis how much I pay for rent in the context of time and returns?
Yeah. Now, actually, I touched on it in the beginning. I say that if, for example, if you are to build a house let me use the case study of where you get it in Chirinya. A plot in my area, a 50 by 100 plot in my area is 150 million.
150 million
to 300 million.
Let's go with 150
million. Yeah, to 300 million. Then building a 3-bedroom house will cost you a minimum of 100 million.
100 million.
100
that's
million.
250
million.
You're going to sleep in the 250
million, and then you sleeping in that house, you're not yet financially stable. Very stable or even independent.
I am employed.
Your employment is not financial.
I'm a salary earner.
Salaries are not stable.
I'm a professional. I'm a corporate. I have a job.
Rate of renting, a 3-bedroom house goes for between
750 and 900.
Not even 700, 800 and on the lower side, a very cheap one, a bit substandard, 800,000.
And the highest?
That is to be 1.5 million.
1.5.
Yeah.
Let's take an average of 1 million.
Yeah.
So,
So now what are we talking about? Now with this house, the 250 million you put in a house, that capital can earn you a lot of money, and it will shift you from your income level and economic level to another level.
Okay.
In even 5 years.
All right.
That 250 million can shift you in 5 years to another economic level. Yet if you stay within if you stay in your house and increase the other costs which come with the house,
so finally,
won't shift to that level.
What do you advise when to rent and when to own?
Yeah, you should rent whenever you've crossed income levels, and maybe you are in the upper middle class to the upper class. You can
where the net worth is like
where the upper middle class, someone in the upper middle class and in the upper class, they have enough resources to look after all their needs and wants, usually
at that level.
And they have excess money over and above their needs and wants. So it's that excess money we should build your house.
Oh, you build the house in the excess money, not on the money that you need also.
Yeah, to need to grow your finances.
So it is better to be comfortable with renting until you get there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Francis. That has been our input at In Truth and in Spirit Financial Vibes.
Now, I actually adding on adding on what Francis was saying. I think that the challenge that we have is our cultural background,
Yes.
and maybe as Ugandans.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give an example. When you read the autobiography of a guy like Wavamuno, he has not a whole chapter, but like a sub-chapter of his houses, even pictures of the houses that he built, the one that he built in Barara, his first house, then his second house in Kansanga, then his third house where he talks about, I think he paid close to 20,000 US dollars for an architect to design it. Now, at the same time, you look at another rich man like Sudhir. Sudhir just built his house, I think,
Recently,
in 2015.
yeah. Recently.
Yes, he was just staying at a hotel. But
And he's the king of real estate in Uganda.
but you see a guy like Wavamuno, for him, you see that even in his 30s, he was taking a family home that serious that even includes it in his autobiography. Whereas the Indians will be comfortable staying in a hotel, using the money, but for an African, maybe cultural background, we have been trained and told that you need to own a house. And this also adds to, because I also read Arike the doctor. Also, when you read in his autobiography, he mentioned his house in Kororo, even a picture there. I'm trying to remember other autobiographies of rich people.
Yeah.
I think even this also have the autobiography of the guys of Gazi Sugar Meta. Also, his autobiography has a house that was built in 1940 something. Now, whereas yes, it's this is an area that is yes or no. The culture forces us or expects us that when you have some money, for you to show that you're a man and you made it, one, you need to have a wife. Number two, you need to have a family home. Then the other thing I wanted also to mention is the social class. When NSSF released its numbers, they say that people who are in formal employment are 2 million people. I think those are the figures that coincide with what URA has, the people who pay and so those are the people that are in formal employment who sit on their desks and expect salary at the end of the month. Now, on the other side, you have the biggest majority of the people that are in the informal employment
sector.
in agriculture, they are riding border borders, they have micro businesses. So this guy who is in the formal sector and is receiving this salary, if he doesn't invest in a house, then where is he going to invest his money? Because remember, this is the same social class after work. They are in a bar, they are driving big cars, they are, every promotion comes with a new babe and more partying. And you see, Uganda's problem, we don't have like opportunities where you can invest on the stock market. So eventually, when these people don't use their salaries to invest in now what the investment that is required from us by the social, like by our cultures, which is a house, the money will end up going into waste. Okay, so that 2 million, I think it would be advisable for them. You first build. Did you see the story when the governor, Bank of Uganda, was retiring, and the wife, the widow, the governor died, and the widow was crying and saying that you leave us in the what? In the house, in the official house of the governor. Don't you remember that story? Yeah. So we have seen cases where public servants have been working, realistically working, and then at the point of retirement, they have nowhere to go. So me, I would think that that formally employed, because remember, even these savings they have, it's very difficult for them to run side businesses. Otherwise, they will not balance.
There is nothing like a side business as far as business is concerned.
Yes, if you don't have, if you don't have the stock market, okay, it's there, but not that developed where you're going to put your money. So eventually they buy big cars, marry more women, drink it, and it goes into waste. Then the other ones in the informal sector, the ones that are adding 1 coin per 1 coin per 1 coin, there.
Should be advised.
Yes, because
invest money in other things, not in.
Because you'd rather build a commercial building of 250 million and stop paying business rent for your premises.
Yeah, that is still work.
So you'd rather use that money if you have it, put up a premises, buy a warehouse or a shop, work from your premises, and you don't have to rent. But this one, the office guy, let him build the house.
Okay. Now, thank you so much, Mr. Rutembana, for that. Francis, Rutembana seemed to advise those in employment, formal employment, to use building homes as an investment plan for their retirement, etc. Is there any other better ways they can do that?
A home is not an investment.
In his context,
in his
context, he wanted, but because he says that they make a lot of money,
and I was listening.
There are no structures of saving that money. So if you invested that in the bricks, eventually at least you can put that house into the bank and then get some money after retirement or after the loss of your job. Is there any other help that we can offer to that category?
Francis coming. Are we trying to hide our indiscipline into this mode? Because a person who is in the formal sector, employment also, has no discipline to keep invest this money. Therefore, because he's that indisciplined, he's saying, "Let me keep this money in bricks and cement." So is our indiscipline a way of saying, let's hide under this to propagate this?
Okay. In the defense of Tembana, as you're responding, we are trying not to be as harsh as Young is. We are saying that there are circumstances that lead us to this position where we cannot manage the funds. Circumstances. There is no stock exchange in this country. Yes, Francis.
I was in 2006. I was formally employed and studying at the same time.
Okay.
I had land, which was given to me, and I built a home. In 3 months, my home was finished.
Finished how?
Like from April to June, I moved in with my family, my young family at that time. 2006. When I became financial literate in 2009, at the end of it, in 2010, I moved out of my home. And I made it a business property by renting it out. Because at that point, I discovered that I'd wasted all those resources, which were going to shift me from that income level to another income level. And I actually turned it from a home, from a lifestyle asset, a home, to a business asset, a rental property. So even these are the ones who are formally employed.
It is okay.
And so long as your income level is still very low, you can even build. And when you realize that you even built a house and it's in a place whereby you can earn from it, move out of the house. And actually, personally, what I did, I moved into smaller accommodation, rental accommodation, whereby I was using far less money on utilities and other bills and the other expenses I talked about. And then I was earning a lot of money from that house. That home currently, at that point when I rented it out in 2010, was earning 550,000 Ghana shillings per month. Currently, I'm earning 1.5 million per month from that house. And I have more other houses which have grown from that one house.
Good. In one word again, talk about the discipline now.
Now, the discipline, I think discipline should not be an excuse. Discipline and ignorance should not be an excuse. We should always endeavor to learn more and to change our ways so that we improve ourselves. Otherwise, if we hide behind that indiscipline, we will stay in those mediocre or poor economic levels. And then there's another very important thing about even investing in houses, especially at an early age. Houses should be houses and old homes should be built by people from their mid-40s onwards. Why? There are two very important factors. From the 20s up to the mid-40s, people, we change a lot in our likes, dislikes. Our jobs are changing, circumstances are changing, geographical preferences are changing. All that is changing. Because all that is changing a lot, a static home or house in a static geography is very dangerous. Getting your 250 million we talked about and sticking it in where you get it is very risky, not where you'll be. So in the mid-40s, people usually settle around that time, in the mid-40s. So when you're getting more settled, it's very likely that the area you like in your mid-40s is the same area you like in your mid-60s, which is different from what you liked in your mid-20s. And then the other thing is even the type of house you like. The house I built in 2006, I cannot go back and sleep in it because it's not a bad house, but the taste is a foul taste now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will get back to you.
Yeah, I was doing some mathematics here as a follow-up on Francis about Chirinya, where a plot is about 150 million, and then you're using about 100 million to construct a house. So a total of 250 million shillings. Now, if the rent in Chirinya is about 1 million shillings on average,
for such a
then
house,
it will take you 20 years to have saved 250 million shillings. Actually, 20 years and 8 months to have saved 250 million shillings. Now, me as a person in the informal sector, if I got 250 million shillings and I invested it right in my factory down there, I would be able to make the 250 million in about, let's say, a year or two. So to me,
as profits, or income,
recovering that money as profit. If I invested 250 now, in about 2 years, that 250 will be out. One or 2 years will be out.
As a return on investment.
So which is wise for me to do? To build a house worth 250 million shillings, or invest 250 million shillings into my business. That in 3 years I can buy the same house in Kirinya, a house I want. Before you come in, I want to give you a background of this idea of the man should own a house. I think we have jumped into a culture that isn't ours, and dragged into this culture our own culture that we come from. In Teso, land is owned communally. Until very recently, it was largely owned communally, where a father would apportion land to a son, apportion a land enough for the son and the grandchildren. And the son and grandchildren had no powers to sell this land or give it away because it was owned communally. So here, basically, the father and the son were living on land that wasn't theirs. They were squatters on land that they thought was theirs. So being a squatter on this land you can equate it to renting. Because your father could easily say, I think shift from here and go there. So I think we are into two cultures that are conflicting, and we are in problems.
And even that house which was built communally, even in those days, that house was a very cheap house to build. Even in my culture in Uganda, the hut which you built on the land that your father gave you, you could even build it in one day.
Let's maintain the house.
The house of today. So now, what my brother is saying is very true. And that's what I started with. The mathematics, so it doesn't add up building a house when you still need to develop yourself financially. Invest that money, learn investment, get friends, go look out for mentors who can help you into getting investment ventures where you can grow the money. you may not even grow the money at a speed as fast as my brother in 2 years. Personally, I hate investing in high income.
You're conservative.
I'm conservative, yeah. High income and high risk ventures. I'm an accountant. I invest in low risk ventures. But even with me, when I became financially literate, I made it a point that actually I remember telling my wife that I will only build a home when I earn enough income from real estate, because I started a real estate business, from real estate, which income can feed me, clothe me, provide all my needs and wants. So actually it is at a point, it was actually in 2018, when I was making enough money from the real estate which could finance my lifestyle and my household. That's at the point when I started building a home.
So Francis, what is the problem with renting to own? Because that is the new trend now.
There's a new trend of renting to own. Renting to own.
It is still under the same problem and predicament of owning.
Renting to own is a very common. It's very common in the West, in Europe and North America. In Uganda, we're just moving into it, and the way we're moving into it is not even very. It's not cost. It doesn't add up very well in Uganda. Why? Because in the West, where it's borrowed from, is for example, if you're paying if you're in the US and you're renting to own, there's a property, maybe it's you're renting the property at $1,000 per month. That's the rent amount. So the landlord, if the landlord is selling that property while renting it to you, can decide to rent you at $1,500 per month. So the $500 over and above the 1,000 you're renting,
the extra 500
is you're paying equity into the house. You're buying it. So after a determined period, where this $500 comes up to the total cost of the house becomes yours.
But ours is better, because what we do in Uganda, you first give us a down
payment of
at least
30% minimum, 35%.
10 million. Regularly we start with that, and then now you start paying the rent.
Uganda.
We agree on what the rent will be, and then you are renting.
Now the challenge with the Ugandan system is that the entry point.
Yes.
How many people can manage that 35%, 40% entry point? You get me?
They're looking out.
We
have customized this for special people, of course.
And it's a very tiny fraction of people who are going to get in. So the rent to own would be very good if it was like the Western rent to own, because it doesn't lock out many people, because our working class cannot afford that entry amount. Our working class.
That's the danger.
Yeah. And the rent to own is for people who cannot afford owning instantly. So
how do you start with 10 million?
10 million when you're also struggling already. Yeah. So that's the challenge you're having.
Again, finally, the ideology of renting to own. Talk about the time that you're going to spend, the cost of that house, the quality of the house, and the type of the house. By the time you finish the house, is it worth it?
Yeah, and many times by the time you finish, and we don't even have the Western culture whereby in the West, when midway through renting to own, if you fall out of love with the geography where the house is or with the house itself, you can decide to get back the money which you've been depositing as
the other 500,
and then you move to another area. In Uganda, we don't have that culture. Yes. In Uganda, we don't have that culture of moving. So you get tied down to a place you no longer like. You get tied down to a house which is out of fashion. Yeah. So it's tricky for the working class, because it's designed for the working class, the rent to own, and then you design something for working class, and then you put impediments which stop the working class from getting there. That's my challenge with it.
Thank you very much. Unless there is any other thing, this has been In Truth and In Spirit World of Worship Fellowship Financial Vibes, and you've heard the man. God bless you.